Hello, little witchlings and princelings, and welcome to your weekly Coven Summoning. My name is Ilsa.
And my name is Stacy.
And we're Caffeine and Conjuring,
a fantasy bookish podcast where we will discuss some of our favorite fantasy reads.
So things are heating up for our girl Aelin, and the tension is getting thick in this book.
Yeah.
Lots happening. We're getting into the nitty-gritty now. There's action. There's soon-to-be heartbreak. There's so much. It's so good. It took everything in me to stop reading.
There really wasn't like a dull moment in these chapters.
No. It was just go the entire time. Oh, so good. Well, before we get into the chapters and do a little bit of a deeper discussion, as always, before you listen to us, if you don't want spoilers, make sure that you read the entirety of Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, The Assassin's Blade, and the first 59 chapters of Heir of Fire. So last episode, we ended off with...
Oh, she got some bad news.
So it's revealed that the King of Ardalan had put all of the slaves from Calculla and Endovier down, essentially. Killed them all. And that news is passing through all of Ardalan. It's made its way to Wendelin. And it was a really rough ending to our episode.
Yeah, I think it was the last we seen her. She was just like plowing all of her magic at the barrier.
Yeah.
I think, she was just like
losing
borderline burnout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So starting off today in chapter 50, Celaena is completely wiped after throwing all of her magic at the barrier. Rowan finds her and breaks the bad news that Wendelin can't send backup because Ardalan is attacking them up north. Even though Rowan suggests maybe heading to Doranel to get answers from Maeve, Celaena's like, nope, I am staying to fight with you. He gets it, calls her Fireheart, which is kind of a moment, and gives her her dagger back. Despite the bad news about reinforcements, nobody at the fortress bails. They buckle down and tweak their battle plans for hours. Later, Rowan admits he actually called his own warrior buddies, his cadre. What am I doing this for? No one can see this.
I'm pretty sure I've done it too, so.
Oh, the bunny ears around cadre. For help a few days back, though he's not sure they'll make it, or if Maeve will even let them come. Celaena tells him straight up, I claim you as my friend. I think we have the exact same things highlighted, because this first chapter, I was just like going crazy with the highlights. The Fireheart,
pretty well the whole thing.
The I claim you as my friend. I think there's one more that I have to double check, but I'll check at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so good.
Mm-hmm.
So Rowan seems to accept it, that I claim you as my friend. But it also hints that things might get complicated later with Maeve. The next day, everyone pitches in to move the sick and wounded to safety. Lots of people skip saying goodbye because it feels like tempting fate. Then, that night, just as things seem to settle for a bit, someone shakes Celaena awake. It looks like the fight they've been prepping for is here. Dun, dun, dun.
What was the other thing you had highlighted?
I'm going to have a look now. So I'm staying because you are needed and because I will follow you to whatever end.
Yes. I forgot to put that in the notes.
It started!
So I've seen that as like a quote for Throne of Glass, to whatever's end. Like I've seen that on shirts. I've seen it on bookmarks. Is that like an ongoing thing, or is this what it references? This part?
It's
is
ongoing.
It like a something ongoing? Okay. Yeah.
And then so I just had the two there that stayed, but the other one was just like the extended version of claiming you as my friend. It's like, I claim you, Rowan Whitehorn. I don't care what you say and how much you protest. I claim you as my friend.
I just love them so much. So, chapter 51. It's Rowan that's waking Celaena up abruptly, basically telling her to just grab her shit and hurry. He thinks someone's ratted them out because the enemy knows exactly how to avoid their traps, and they'll be at the fortress gate within the hour. There's a darkness growing at the horizon, and it's like snuffing out every light, including the trees. Like the way that she describes what it's like coming across the horizon is, creepy. So they rally the Demi-Fae on the walls. The plan is to use the fortress door as a choke point since once the magical ward stones outside fall. Rowan tells Celaena her job is to snipe the main bad guys, creepy creatures, the second the wards drop, specifically aiming for the eyes so they can't mind control anyone. He tells her to use magic if she has to, but does not get carried away. Then the creatures show up at the edge of the woods, all three of them, including the one that Celaena thought was dead. Turns out the skinwalkers didn't actually kill him after all. The darkness they bring is nasty. It kills a rabbit just by touching it. And General Narok? Narok, right?
Narok. It's all the same.
Narok. Okay. General Narok, who is funny because they even say, like, he's not beautiful. So he's, like, ugly as shit. Clad with the obsidian collar, shows up too and orders them to start pounding the barrier with darkness. Yeah, the way that like they describe them with like the veins, like ugh. Just as things are getting tense outside, yelling starts inside the fortress. The enemy soldiers snuck in through the escape tunnel. It was a setup. Rowan knows he needs to go deal with the soldiers inside, but Celaena decides someone needs to handle the creatures pounding on the outside barrier. Ignoring Rowan's orders to get inside, she powers up her fire magic, grabs her sword, thinks about everyone who died in the massacres, and steps outside the protective wards to face the creatures and the darkness head on. She's basically decided she's the one who has to make the stand here.
Go
Celaena.
girl.
Aelin, Celaena, always like putting herself right in the middle of a shitstorm. I think I had a moment in one of the earlier books where I'm just like, Celaena, like, stop. Have some self-perseverance.
Her character is like contradictory to her character.
Yes.
It's like she's
Very
a coward,
much.
but then she'll go into almost guaranteed death without a second without even a hesitation.
Yep. It's almost like it just depends on what she's remembering.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So, chapter 52, Celaena steps out past the wards and immediately the darkness attacks. She throws up a fire shield and starts fighting back, keeping the barrier protected behind her even though it's making her head pound and her nose bleed. The three creepy dudes, no sign of Narok at this point, come at her with the swords. They fight like they're linked, super coordinated. She uses her fire magic with her sword, and it starts glowing. The creature recognizes the sword. They called it the Goldren and mention Athril and Brennan. Celaena has a flashback / realization. These guys are Valg princes, ancient demons. They basically confirm it, saying they've been waiting to get back into the world and the King of Ardalan helped them. The fight continues, but Celaena is using up her magic fast to hold the shield behind her. She's getting exhausted, starting to cramp and cough blood. Oh, God.
This part.
You could feel and hear the pain and just...
Mm-hmm.
Why does it gotta be a slow burn? Anyways, so just in time, Rowan's 5 warrior friends, I'm jumping ahead here a little bit.
Yeah,
different
you're
scene.
thinking, yeah,
Yeah.
the part where
Yeah.
yep.
So
Oh, we'll get
ignore
there.
my comment for like half a chapter here. But this scene also, yes. 100% yes. Um,
Yes.
so just in time, Rowan's 5 warrior friends, 2 wolves, a bird, and a mountain cat, and a powerfully built male, charging down the hill. Celaena uses her last bit of power to blast a path through the darkness for them to reach the fortress. The mountain cat, which we know as Gavriel, hesitates, seeing that she is in bad shape, but she tells him to go and help Rowan inside. With her path cleared, the darkness collapses. Totally drained, Celaena gets caught by one of the Valg princes. Meanwhile, Rowan's kicking ass inside, holding the tunnel entrance. He is relieved when his cadre, Vaughn and the Wolves first, show up and start wrecking the soldiers. He sprints back to the gate, sees Aelin collapsing outside, clearly burning out. The Valg prince gets her in his clutches. Gavriel tackles Rowan to stop him from charging into the darkness after her, and she stops fighting and the darkness swallows her.
So Rob.
Notes don't do that ending justice because, his reaction to seeing her being just obliterated by the skinwalkers.
I have to get it up. What chapter was it?
52.
52. Yeah, so like the shield of flame surged and receded, pulsing like the light around her body. She was burning out. Why hadn't she retreated? Another step closer, and the thing said something that had her raising her head. Rowan knew he could not reach her, didn't even have the breath to shout a warning, as Aelin gazed into the face of the creature before her. She had lied to him. She had wanted to save lives, yes, but she had gone out there with no intention of saving her own. He drew in a breath, to run, to roar, to summon his power, but a wall of muscle slammed into him from behind, tackling him to the grass. Though Rowan shoved and twisted against Gavriel, he could do nothing against the 4 centuries of training and feline instinct that had pinned him, keeping him from running through those gates and into the blackness that destroyed worlds. The creature took Aelin's face in its hands, and her sword thudded to the ground, forgotten. Rowan was screaming as the creature pulled her into his arms, as she stopped fighting, as her flames winked out and darkness swallowed her whole.
Oh.
I just got like goosebumps.
Oh, God.
And then chapter 53 takes like a different turn because like this is a really rough chapter for Celaena / Aelin because it's all happening in her head. The Valg prince grabs her and she's just having these flashbacks, memories, twisted because the Valg is like doing crazy stuff to her memories.
Yep.
But she's trapped in complete darkness and she's just being forced to relive her worst memories. So the Valg are feeding off of her pain and her misery, and she sees Nehemia's mutilated body and her parents dead in their bed again, and it's just like her soul is completely cracking open. Nehemia's voice, which is basically the Valg just mimicking it, keeps calling her a coward, and she is completely overwhelmed by grief and guilt. She gets dragged deeper into the darkness, feeling like she's falling into an endless abyss, maybe even hell. She relives horrible moments, Kale seeing her face-eyed, her last argument with Nehemia, the guilt over the slave massacres, and the time she went berserk in Endovier. Then it gets really bad. She's back in Endovier, being whipped, but this time it's Sam and Nehemia doing it, representing all the people she feels that she failed. She basically becomes the pain, thinking she deserves it. Oh, it's so sad. This whole chapter just killed me.
Yeah, when they say, like, Sam and Nehemia whipping her, but then, like, the line continues, and everyone that she feels that she's wronged and let down is going to take their turn.
Yeah.
It's just like, ugh.
Yeah. So she realizes that the Valg princes aren't just killing her, they're actually enjoying her agony, planning to keep her suffering forever. She feels totally helpless, hopeless, like there's no escape. As she keeps falling through her memories, she hits what feels like the bottom. It's a frozen river deep in her soul. It feels like the end.
So right into chapter 54. First, she relives the King of Ardalan's visit to her home kingdom, Orin, when she was a kid. Everyone's super tense, even her cousin Adian is on edge. She remembers hating the king instantly, especially how he ignored his own son, a young, polite Prince Dorian. During a big feast, she and Dorian are stuck at the end of the table. She makes fun of his super proper eating habits, and then, feeling bad because he looks lonely, awkwardly asks him to be friends. He politely declines, mentioning he already has a friend. Kale. That was so sweet. And as Sarah likes to do, things go sideways after a cute moment. And they go sideways fast. Young Aelin starts getting a massive headache, feeling like something dark is trying to push into her mind. Her magic goes wild. She accidentally sets fire to some chairs, freaks out, yelling, "Get it out." Her mom has to douse her with a wall of water to stop her magic meltdown, and Aelin sees the King of Ardalan smiling creepily as she passes out. And she mentions that, like, this is the third time he's looked at her that night. Both other times were just dead eyes. And when he sees her magic, he smiles.
Mm. Yeah. Creeps.
As adult Celaena relives this, the Valg comment on the memory and she realizes the king attacked her mind that night, using his power. One of the Valg mentions Narok is nearby and that Celaena is the prize and they should savor her. Ugh.
Yeah.
The memory jumps forward. After the incident, everyone thinks Maeve attacked Aelin's mind. Her family takes her away from the palace to a country manor, trying to keep things quiet. Her parents argue, and Lady Marian comforts young Aelin, telling her stories. One night, Aelin's mother gives her the Amulet of Orinth, the family heirloom, telling her it will protect her and always lead her home. Celaena realizes she lost this amulet the same night her parents were killed. The memory then shifts to the night of the murders. There's an unnatural storm and that creepy smell again, and Aelin wakes up to find her parents dead in their bed. They went into great detail to say throat slit from one ear to the other.
Yeah. I don't know.
Lady Marian rescues her from the room, bathes her, and tries to keep her calm in the kitchen. News arrives that King Orlan, her uncle, is also dead. Later, an assassin arrives at the manor. Lady Marian shoves Aelin out the door, telling her to run to a specific bridge and hide, sacrificing herself to buy Aelin time. Aelin sees Marian fight bravely, but gets killed by the assassin. And before Marian died and sent Aelin off, she's like, "Please tell my daughter Elise that I love her." Aelin runs for the bridge, chased by the assassin on horseback. She gets stuck in the mud, but is helped free by the little folk. She finally reaches the bridge, only to realize the assassin cut the ropes. She plunges into the icy river below. She knows Marian's sacrifice broke something inside her. Her memories get hazy after hitting the water, until Erebin finds her. She realizes that she lost the amulet in the river. This is why she became Celaena, burying Aelin and her past, feeling unworthy and monstrous because of Marian's sacrifice. She couldn't face this memory until now. And I'm not even sure that she's really facing the memory. The memory is being forced upon her.
Forced on her, yeah. Yeah.
But it is giving her that, like, she's forced to relive it, forced to come to terms with it, and it just... It gets the ember glowing inside of her.
I feel like I might have missed like a paragraph maybe in those notes, because the end of that chapter was really cool that I should have put in the notes, but where she says she would remake the world, remake it for them, those she had loved with this glorious burning heart, a world so brilliant and prosperous that when she saw them again in the afterworld, she would not be ashamed. She would build it for her people who had survived this long and whom she would not abandon. She would make for them a kingdom such as there had never been, even if it took until her last breath. She was their queen, and she would offer them nothing less. Aelin Galathynia smiled at her, hands still outreached. Get up, the princess said. Celaena reached across the earth between them and brushed her fingers against Aelin's and arose. Like that.
Masterpiece.
Oh, like the connection between her two, I don't want to say personalities, but like her two, like who she wants to be, who she is, who she has to be,
Yeah.
who she has had to be to survive, you know, just all of that just coming together. And she arose. Oh. Chapter 55, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Rowan's POV.
Rowan. So the barrier fell. That's what we know right now. He's still inside the fortress, but he can somehow sense that Aelin is still alive. Rowan's friends are telling him she's a goner and they need to focus on the fight inside, but he's not having it. He even starts hearing the voice of his dead mate Lyria calling him from the darkness, which is obviously a Valg trick. But I highlighted this because importance. He knew Aelin was alive because during all these weeks that they had been breathing each other's scents, they had become bonded.
I have that highlighted too, but I wasn't going to say it unless you pointed it out.
Just as Rowan's about to lose it completely, the ground rumbles and a golden light flashes inside the darkness. Rowan realizes Aelin isn't burning out like they thought. Suddenly, fire explodes out, and there's Aelin standing between two Valg princes looking like a queen with a glowing mark on her forehead and fiery eyes.
And she gives him that little smile.
Yes. She is full on badass mode. The two Valg lunge, and she just grabs their faces and basically like breathes fire down their throat. Like this whole scene was just painted so epically. And they turn to ash instantly. Narok and the last Valg prince regroup, readying their darkness for another go. Rowan sees she's almost out of power and knows wind and ice won't cut it. He sprints towards her, slices his palm open, and offers her his power.
Listen, I've read this before, and reading this again, I was just like shaking back and forth on the chair, like, yes, 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 yes.
I was just like, I feel like I just floated through this chapter because like everything was just happening. Like it was just going and going and going. And I was like, oh my God, like I need to breathe.
Yeah. She says, Cadre!
Yes. Karanam? Karanam, is that what it's called?
Yes.
Karanam? Yeah. Yeah, so we find out that that little bit of foreshadowing earlier. So they can share magic. So Aelin cuts her own palm and they clasp hands blood to blood, and Rowan whispers, "Oh, I claim you too, Aelin Galathynius." Yes.
I'm sorry to my future self for the noises.
I know. So the darkness wave hits, but together, fueled by Rowan's magic, they blast it apart with golden light. Aelin then unleashes a massive wave of fire and light on Narok and the last prince, burning them up completely. Narok even seems to look grateful for a split second before turning to ash. And all that's left on the ground are the 4 Wyrdstone collars. Oh, my heart.
I know. Ugh. Oh. So we're back to Ardalan for chapter 56, and things are getting cozy between Dorian and Shorsha in her workroom when Kale shows up, looking grim. He finally spills the beans to both of them about the king's magic, the Wyrdkeys, and the 3 black towers being used to suppress magic across the continent. Sorsha handles the bombshell news calmly. Kale, seeing Dorian happy with Sorsha, even comments she'd make a good queen, which made her look sad.
I guess that was just more of a like I wish sort of thing, maybe.
Yeah.
I think that's what I got from it. Kind of like it would never happen.
No comments.
I know.
So later on, Kale and Dorian meet in a secret tunnel to test Kale's theory. Kale sets up 3 crystals in a triangle, like the towers, with water in the middle, and Dorian pours his magic into the setup. And sure enough, the water freezes, basically proving the towers are how the king killed magic. It's like kicking a dead horse. You know this now. Like, you've known this forever. You really didn't need to test it. It is obvious.
Yeah.
So Dorian asks to see the tower locations on a map. They figure the magic suppressing lines run through the places where the king might be breeding monsters or armies. The Morath, the Fairy Gap, and the Dead Islands. They realize they can't warn Wendelin about the monsters headed their way. Kale admits he's unsure whose side he's really on besides Dorian. The chapter ends with Dorian seeming more mature and kingly, telling Kale not to fear the changes happening and leaving Kale pretty stunned.
The end of that, yeah. I love the end of that chapter. Because he says, when Dorian had spoken, it hadn't been a prince who looked at him. It had been a king.
Yeah.
We're back to Celaena. And this is after the big battle, and it's been 2 days after. She wakes up. Yeah, because she slept for like 2 days. I think that's how the chapter starts. Yeah. Celaena slept for 2 days. When she wakes up, Rowan's cadre is leaving, but Gavriel warns them to be careful with Maeve. Later, they're relaxing by a forest pool. Rowan tells Celaena the world knows she's alive now, and the king will be hunting her. Thinking about protection leads Celaena to a huge realization. The 3rd word key is hidden in the Amulet of Orinth, which Erebin Hamel took from her years ago. Yeah, because I think she remembers that she had it in the river, and then he takes her from the river, and he has because she says there, the Amulet of Orinth, she would have offered him that if she hadn't lost it. Erlen were no, she would rest easier if she knew it was protecting him. The amulet, decorated with the sacred stag on one side and word marks on the other. Celaena stopped breathing, stopped seeing the prince beside her, hearing the forest humming around her. Terrasen had been the greatest court in the world. They had never been invaded and never been conquered, but they had prospered and become so powerful that every kingdom knew to provoke them was folly. Blah, 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 blah. It had been around her neck the night she fell into the river, and around the neck of every one of her ancestors going back to Brandon himself. Then she goes on to say, but she had lost the Amulet of Orinth. It had fallen into the river, and no, it couldn't have, because she wouldn't have made it to the riverbank, let alone survived the hour she lay there. That cold would have claimed her, which meant she'd had it when Erebin Hamel had taken it from her and kept it all these years, a prize whose power he had never guessed the depths of. So yeah, she put it together that Erebin must have took it from her neck when he found her. She knows that she has to get it back, but doesn't tell Rowan the details because he's still bound to Maeve. He asks her, or she offers to tell him, but they're just no, Maeve can't know about this. And because he has the blood oath with Maeve, she could very easily force him to tell her everything that he knows.
Yeah, I think he asked her kind of casually if she knew where it was, and she said, "I do, but I can't tell you."
Yes. Okay, so she was the one who, yeah. Okay.
And he understood.
Good.
He was like, "Yeah, I don't want to know."
Yeah.
Once that was said, he was like, "Yeah, you're right. I don't want to know this. I don't want to know anything that can aid her, basically, without saying that."
How complicated their friendship is. Yeah, she says, not while you're bound to her.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm bound to her forever. And she said,
I
I
know.
know. You're right. I don't want you to tell me any of it. I hate that. I hate her. Oh,
Yeah.
anyways. So instead of telling him all that about the word key, she tells him actually like her backstory, everything about being Aelin and the trauma that she went through. It's a really big bonding moment. Afterwards, feeling lighter, she manages to summon a tiny droplet of water magic from her mom's side, and they end up laughing and splashing in the pool. It was such a like amongst all the heaviness of these chapters, felt like this was a little break.
Yeah, a little
And the fact that like
well-needed dose of light.
yeah. Oh. And we get another little jump because she is just recovering for another week, and Celaena feels truly changed, even happy. She sees a woman, not just scars, smiling back in the mirror, and she knows that it's time to face Maeve. So they say their goodbyes at Mistward, and Celaena promises Emerys and Luca a home in her future kingdom. And then she and Rowan finally head off toward Dornell.
And then in chapter 58, we're right back to Ardalan again. This chapter starts with Adie, Kale, and Ren meeting secretly in Celaena's old apartment. Adie tells Ren he needs to get out of Rifthold soon and head to Terrasen. Ren's a bit annoyed, but Adie insists it's too risky for him to stay. Kale confirms he's leaving for Aniel in a few days, sticking to the deal he made to get Aelin safely to Wendelin. Adie seems almost disappointed Kale is leaving, but doesn't try and stop him. Suddenly, Murtaugh bursts in, looking like he's seen a ghost. After catching his breath, he drops the bombshell. Aelin is alive in Wendelin. News is apparently spreading like wildfire that she was involved in a battle against General Narok's forces in the mountains. Murtaugh excitedly tells them she defeated Norok's army, saved a bunch of demi-fae, and used fire magic like the legendary Brannon. Adie is stunned but thrilled, realizing the king has no idea who his champion really is. Murtaugh decides he needs to ride north immediately to spread the news throughout Terrasen before the king can suppress it. Adie tells him to warn his Bane forces to lie low but keep helping the rebels. As Murtaugh's leaving, Kale rushes up and tells him to send word to Eelway too, telling them to hold on and prepare because it's time to fight back. The news quickly spreads across the continent, reaching everyone from queens to assassins. Back in Rifthold, the King of Ardalan is furious about the news. Dorian watches his father rage and execute ministers, but keeping his cool. He is secretly proud and hopeful, knowing Aelin kept her promise and is changing the world. He pretends to go along with his father, partly for Sorcia's safety, believing that when Aelin returns, they'll change things together.
Yay! Oh, then our last chapter again for this episode.
And man, what a fucking horrible chapter to end on.
Yes. Very, very much.
Ugh.
Ugh. Chapter 59. After a week of traveling, Rowan and Celaena reach Dornell, and Celaena's ready to get answers about the Wyrdkeys. She didn't have the space left in her for doubt and fear. She was as much of a queen as Maeve, and to quote her inner monologue, she was the heir of ash and fire, and she would bow to no one.
Ayo.
When they finally enter the throne room, Maeve is seated, surrounded by twin wolves and no one else. Maeve demands Aelin to demonstrate what she's learned over the past month, but Celaena knows better. She wants her answers about the keys before she holds up her end of the fool's bargain. Maeve complies and answers a few of Celaena's questions to the best of her knowledge, which, as it turns out, isn't much. She does, however, confirm there are no known ways to destroy the keys, only that they can be placed in the Wyrdgate, a task no one seems to know how to complete. Celaena then asks Maeve what she knows about the Valg princes. Maeve informs her that there are many races of Valg, ruled by princes, who themselves are made of shadow and despair, and have no bodies to occupy other than the ones they infiltrate. That is, like, terrifying.
Yep.
She also brings up that Brannon, who also wielded fire that could kill them, was a discarded son of a nobody, discarded by both parents, but was loved by Mala so fiercely that his flames were all that held the princes at bay until a force was summoned to push them back. This revelation led to Maeve bringing up the mark on Celaena's brow. It's revealed that it's a nameless mark. Each of Brandon's heirs, despite their noble lineage, bore the mark as well. It was neat getting that, like, backstory to her, like, that symbol. Maeve also reveals that though the Valg are hard to kill, they're not invincible, and she suspects cutting off their head and removing the collars might do the trick. We get a little of Maeve's thirst for power here as she recounts having the keys and regrets not using them herself. She suspects the king has 2 keys, and without the third, he can only keep his portals open for a small amount of time, which we knew that anyways, right? Like, we were already, we already figured he only had 2. If he were to get all 3, he could open it at will and summon Valg armies to be led by the princes in their mortal bodies. And on top of that, with the 3 keys, he wouldn't need to use the collars. He'd have full control. An army that does not need sleep or to eat or breathe. Yeah. It's really like the ultimate army.
Yeah.
That we would want on our side, not to go against.
Yeah.
After revealing that she doesn't know about the location of the 3rd key, she gets the suspicion that Celaena knows more than she's letting on. So she asks poor Rowan, who's bound to tell her the truth, and he reveals to Maeve that Celaena knows where the key might be but wouldn't tell him. After refusing to tell Maeve, the bitch resorts to torturing Rowan to try and get her to reveal the location. Oh my god. Like, this was such a piss off.
Yeah.
But in the end, she still refuses to give in, seeing the look on Rowan's face that just screams, don't. She enters a rage, her eyes shifting to flame, and at the sight, Maeve turned bone white. I think they... Ash white? Was that what?
No, bone white was the...
Bone white?
Yeah.
Who was it that turned ash white? There's... Anyways, unrelated. Maeve turned bone white. And then she set the world on fire.
And that's where it ends?
What a way to end it. Holy shit balls.
Well, that's where it ends for you.
Like,
I immediately went and finished the book.
Finish the book? I don't want it to be over. Okay.
So, I ask this every time, but I'm going to change it.
Okay.
What do you think might happen in the last 50 pages of Air of Fire?
She's going to kill Maeve. Probably not, but that's what I wouldn't be mad.
Okay, I know I gotta hold back on spoilers, but the way I almost audibly cackled when you said that.
A cackle could mean anything at this point.
But the kind of cackle that's just bitch, are you serious? They've been building up this big bad Maeve for her to just go out in 50 pages.
I know. Listen, I can dream. I don't like her.
You're gonna hate her a lot more in the future. Guarantee you that.
Oh, jeez. Where the hell is Manon?
Yeah, we didn't have any Manon tonight.
No, we need Abraxas back. Come on. I'm assuming the end of this book is when everything connects again, all of the characters. I feel like there's gonna be some sort of pinnacle where they all come together again. But that, again, I mean, she could drag this out for books and I wouldn't know. Is the king finally going to die? Are we going to finally kill the king? Because we have another big bad guy. It's all just like wishful thinking.
You're looking for your theories in the wrong places for the ending of this book.
Is Kale and Aiden going to have a thing? Oh, no? Okay.
Elaborate.
I don't know. I just got that, like, that feeling from Aiden when he talked about, like, Kale, like, their interactions together. I don't know.
I don't know.
And, like, the way he was, like, kind of sad that Kale was leaving. Go to, with his dad. I might have to, I mean, not right now, obviously, but if that doesn't happen, I might have to look up fan fictions.
I
Yes.
I have a feeling there's a very small percentage of fan fictions that include Kale.
I guess I'll just have to write them.
I would
Oh.
hate the topic, but I would support it and read it.
Oh.
Oh, Kale's not that bad. He's just a fucking moron sometimes.
And are we going to get any more of Elena? Like, she was showing up every now and then. And now she's just not anymore. You say with a, like, stone straight face. So I know there's something up there.
I'm running out of faces to give when we talk. The best was still when I gave you the look of, like, when you asked if Celaena's Aelin. I was just like, what the fuck? No.
Yeah, like, I feel like you practiced that face in the mirror before our drive. I feel like you really perfected that face.
I was honestly shitting myself the entire time that I would give it away, and I would just start busting out laughing. Which I kind of did, but you were driving, so I could just, like, casually laugh at the window.
For context, for anybody listening that doesn't know what the hell we're talking about, I think it's on our TikTok.
It's on our TikTok, right? It's on our Instagram. There is a video of Stacy's reaction to finding out that Celaena is Aelin.
And I called it!
It's worth the watch.
Too bad I can't call anything else. That was like my one good intuition. Yeah, I don't have, like, any inkling again on where anything is going. I feel like there's so many different ways it could go. I know, like, what I hope would happen, which is Celaena lighting up Maeve right now. Marv.
Fuck, now I'm gonna have to keep that in a little bit.
I mean, it was perfect. It was, like, literally perfect. If I could come up with a nickname for Maeve, it would have to be Marv. It's just Are we gonna see Brannon? Does he come back in, like, some sort of Elena spiritual?
I don't know. You can't ask me these things.
Or, like, Mabe. Do we get any more about Mabe?
Mab?
Mab? Mabe. Mab.
Mab, Maeve, and...
Maeve, Mab, and... I don't remember.
Mora. Mab, Maeve, and Mora. I knew it was M.O., but I'm like, Mort? Like, Mab, Maeve, and what?
Oh, I miss Mort.
Oh.
Man, like, that all feels like it was forever ago. It's crazy how much has happened.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't have anything that I can currently say,
No.
which is going to
No.
be a constant going forward.
I can't wait until, like, we start getting, like, past the things that are considered spoilery right now and to be able to get your
But
thoughts on things.
but the like the biggest things are like in the last book.
Then I guess we'll talk about it in, like, 3 years.
Girl, we are not pushing this
yeah.
3 years. We have a year time
No,
frame.
God, no. Yeah. I'm being dramatic.
Like, I want to finish this series in the next week.
Oh my God.
You
I would
die.
die. I would. I am struggling so much with all of the books I have to read right now. When you said for the book club, a 6 book of the month, I was like, oh my God.
I was like,
I'm
she's
lucky
gonna
if I
fucking
get
curse me
2.
for saying that, because if anyone else likes it and wants to do it, I'm getting booted out of the book club.
Oh my God. No, I would have just been like, okay, guess who's doing the meetings? Name me. But yeah. I guess we will have to come back in a week and see where everything goes in the last 9 chapters.
Well, I think that's it for this evening.
I have to go pound out 10 chapters now. 8 chapters. 9 chapters. What the I need to go to bed. Never mind.
I am like balls deep in the Poppy War trilogy. I'm like halfway through the second book now, and I can't put it down. So guess who's probably gonna be up till like 4 in the morning reading? This girl. I don't gotta work till 12 tomorrow, so ayo.
Oh, I gotta work at 9, but I might go in at 8 because there will be stuff left from today to do. Anyways.
Well, until next time.
And with that, our coven summoning comes to a close. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button on Spotify or Apple Podcasts.
And follow Caffeine and Conjuring on Instagram and TikTok to stay up to date on our journey through Throne of Glass. Adventure